Hey everyone, it's Ben Lister here. So a big thing that I see when I talk to remodeling business owners, construction business owners, anyone who deals in the home improvement industry, is that they do not know how to handle leads. They do not know how to nurture leads and how to get the leads to that point from a lead where they have a phone number and an email to the point where they are now an appointment and they have a sales opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to discuss a few tips on how to do that, how some of the clients that I've worked with, some of the businesses that I've worked with have done that best. And hopefully there's some tips and tricks in here that you can use. And this is a really important video because I know it's a big bottleneck for certain businesses. So really, if you can open this bottleneck up and open this flow of leads up, you really don't have to do anything else to, 2x, 3x your income just by learning these few tricks. So if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I work with remodeling companies, construction companies, interior design businesses, a lot of different businesses in the home improvement space, and I help to crack the code of marketing and to give these businesses an excess of customers. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of business owners that I speak to, they have this limiting belief that I'd like to call, where they think that they can follow up with a lead too many times. Now, of course, there is a way that you can follow up with a lead too many times. If you call them every 5 minutes, they're not going to like that. But I know many business owners who call these leads once every 3 days, once every 7 days. They will call them 3 times and then they will never call them again. They will not text them, they will not email them, they will only go through one different channel. And I can say with an awful lot of confidence that is just a terrible way to do it. And I have a lot of evidence to say that there's many better ways to do that. Oftentimes, if you follow up with a lead that many times and you basically are quite persistent with it, what can happen is the lead can actually be quite thankful that you have actually followed up with them too many times. Because if they've come through a paid channel, if they've come through, a lead marketplace, if they've come through social media, oftentimes they've expressed some kind of pain, some kind of interest in your service. And 90% of the time, the reason that they haven't followed up with you or picked up the phone or gone any further is because they're simply busy. And if they're not busy, if they just don't want you to contact them, they will tell you that. And oftentimes it is just a case where as soon as they tell you to back off, you just back off. And that's as simple as it can get. I know there's business owners out there who think that that they're going to get a bad reputation, as that people are not going to want to do business with them. But from my experience anyway, from the businesses that I've worked with and the results that I've seen, is this kind of process where you do follow up with the leads kind of relentlessly is the opposite of seen as as pushy, and it's really just as someone doing business and getting back to an offer that they've originally said. If this was, for example, you're cold calling a lead and they've never actually expressed an interest and you call them every single day for a week, I would say that's probably too much, and they probably they didn't actually want you to call them in the first place. But if they've expressed an interest, then basically it's almost fair game to call them and to keep in contact with them and to give as many touch points as you can until they tell you to back off or you get the sales appointment. So another thing that I would say is that because a lot of business owners don't have much time, they often resort to quite less optimal channels of communication. So they will text first, they will email first, they might message through social media or whatever platform it is. But the number one thing that you want to do is you want to call the leads. Now, this might be self-explanatory, but a lot of business owners don't actually do it. And this is going to get your conversion rate through the roof. And it's purely because of the human touch that you can have. So if you are, if you have a local accent, if your accent is quite distinct where you're from, having that person to call you and to give you that sort of that human connection and to really connect with that person is going to get you way further down the line for the sales appointments than any text message would. Text can be quite difficult to read tone and to read sort of how you're interpreting the messages. Then there could be poor communication between both on the client side, on the customer side, and on the business side as well. So if you have this phone call with someone and you can really make the lead laugh, you can let them know that you're human, and you can basically just diffuse any sort of situation where they might think that you are being rude or blunt or upfront or anything like that. It is a fantastic way to get you a high conversion rate, and I'm pretty sure from the data that I've seen that is the best way possible. So I want to make a point that texts do work as well. You can book a lot of appointments just with doing text and just with doing emails and just with doing social media, but it is going to be lower than usual. I've seen clients that are too busy and that don't really have the time to do phone calls every day. They don't have a receptionist. It's really just them and someone else, and it's quite a small team, and they do okay with text in the right sort of way. Another thing I want to mention with calls is that if you call a lead, for example, the number one thing that you can do to get them to actually respond and to get them to actually pick up the phone is what we call a double dial. So nowadays, everyone has their phone on silent. I'm a culprit of this too. And basically, the first time that you call someone, if you have an iPhone, I think it works on Android phones too. The first time you call someone, it will just instantly go to voicemail, so it won't even ring, and you think their phone's off, the number's not connecting, whatever it may be. But the second time that you call them, it will ring, and this is basically just in case of emergencies and things like that. So if you have your phone on silent and someone rings you twice and the phone does come through, you're going to instantly think that it's more important. Now, even if this doesn't happen, if it doesn't ring the first time and you still call them the second time to give them a double dial, you should also do this. So basically, if it rings once, you can give them another dial again to ring twice. And this just makes it people think that it's an emergency, because the only time that they would actually call twice is if there's, if they really want to get a hold of them. And it can be a little bit of a cheeky way to do it. It's not really something that many people would want to happen to them, if that makes sense. But if you're calling them up for an offer that they've signed up for, then this is kind of fair game in a lot of people's eyes. Especially as well, I know from my experience, if I get called twice by the same number within a couple of minutes, then I'm more likely to respond, and the pickup rates are phenomenally higher from doing a double dial and just a normal dial. Often I can see that a business, for example, will get maybe like a 25% pickup rate, and they can get that 2x out to 50% or even more just by implementing a double dial. So another thing I want to talk about is a system in the US that is the shake and stir system. If you Google this, you'll find it's a shake and / stir system. And if you have a US company, there is a way to actually make it so that the phone number, when you give someone a call, it doesn't say the phone number, it's just an unknown number. It says the business name itself. So this is a great way of doing things. Obviously, if the lead has actually contacted you, the business, personally, they've reached out to ABC Construction, and basically they're waiting on a call. A lot of people don't answer unknown numbers. They don't want to respond with calls that potentially is a cold call or anything like that. Even if they do and they answer the phone, they're hesitant of who's on the other end of the phone. It could be a scam. It could be anyone at all. But if you have that name there, the only way you can get that is if you're an official business, if you're licensed through the Shake and Stir system, and you basically just have to register and give a couple of bits of business information. And obviously this is only available in the US too, so it basically just proves that it is a local number and quite a reputable business. I think you often find this if a phone company, if a mobile company actually gives you a text or something, you don't even have them as a contact, but it still says who it's from. And there's many businesses that do this. For example, if you do a two-factor authentication and you get them to send you a text to input a code, it will oftentimes say, if you do it with Facebook, for example, it will say, Facebook's text you as the contact, even though you don't have Facebook as a contact. So it's a great way to build, authority and build, a sense of security with the lead, and obviously they're going to respect you and obviously know exactly who it is. So the pickup rate's going to be high, and you're going to have a chance to nurture that lead. And like I said, with the human touch approach, if you really speak to them as a person, and you really get to know them, and you really sort of make them laugh a little bit, add those together, and you have a fantastic opportunity there to move the lead on to an actual appointment. And then a big thing here is that you want to connect with the lead emotionally. Now, the way that we do this is by really getting to the problem of what their problem is. So oftentimes there will be the reason why the lead is signed up is because there is an issue. They haven't requested some information about having their kitchen remodeled if they didn't think that their kitchen being remodeled was a big issue. If they didn't, want it done before Thanksgiving, if they didn't want it done before the summer, if they didn't, have a huge issue where there's a style that they really don't like and it's really not making them happy, and if they get their kitchen remodeled, then it's going to solve a big problem for them. If we can get down to that, and we can say, the reason that I want to have my driveway done is because I want to get a new car and I want to get the driveway done first. I don't want to have this brand new car sitting on an old driveway that's got all cracks in it and things like that. Whatever it is, if you get down to the bottom of it, then we've connected with that person emotionally. And we have to remember that we're solving a problem. The first way to solve the problem is to actually diagnose it. So I think Warren Buffett said it was something like, if I'm trying to figure out a problem, I'm going to spend, if I get an hour to figure out the problem, I'm going to spend 90% of that time actually defining what the problem is. And as soon as we can define the problem, as soon as we can connect with that person, we can say, right then, well, this is going to give you what you want. It's going to solve your problem. If we come in and give you new cabinets for your kitchen, it's going to resolve this issue that you're having. If we come in and do this special type of driveway, or we give them, certain type of tiles or anything like that, it's going to solve their problem. And as soon as we can tie them to that, we have a much better chance of them associating solving their problem with your services. And it really is a way, the start of the sales call, the start of the sales appointment, when you're on the phone with them, because really you're diagnosing these problems, and then when you go to the sales appointment, you're obviously going to explore how we're going to resolve those problems. Another point that I want to make is there's a famous quote in the world of professional American football, and it's that the best ability is availability. Now, what this means in the sporting sense is that if you're a single player and you want to break onto the team, if you want to, achieve something, if you want to be successful, is you want to always be available to play. You want to always be available to be the person to step in when it's needed. Same way in your business, in your remodeling business, in your home improvement business, is that if you are available to take these leads on and to give them a call and to contact them and to complete all of these touch points, then you're much more likely to succeed. The business that is not available and that misses all the calls and that doesn't have time to contact these leads is the one that is going to fail, compared to the one that is always available, that is always ready, and that they're a very big business, but they treat themselves like a small business, if that makes sense, where the head of design or the head of sales is always available to talk to a lead. Now, of course, this is going to be difficult for a lot of businesses, but the more availability that you have and the more times you're able to be contacted by your customers and by your leads, then it's only going to be good things. So if you are struggling to get any sort of home improvement or remodeling customers for your business, and you don't have a fully booked sales calendar, then click the first link in the description. Don't worry, it's not some crazy expensive course or some case study or anything like that, but it is a sales funnel. It is designed to sell you something, and basically it's my company helps to solve this issue. I don't mind if you click it or not. It's completely up to you. If you just want to watch these videos and get the value and the information from them and never click that link, then that is completely fine for me. But if you are having a lead generation problem, then the link is always there. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a like and comment anything that you would like me to discuss in the future. Any tips and tricks in the remodeling or the home improvement marketing space, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and you are new around here. So yeah, I want everyone that's watched this to have a fantastic day. I really thank you for staying around to the end. It means a lot to me. So yeah, have a great day and take care. Bye.